One in the Pro Singer Success Collective live on YouTube. And today we're talking about why your vocal practice is most likely a giant waste of time. And so when I'm referring to your vocal practice, I mean like when you go to practice, why it's most likely a big waste of your time. And because it can be super frustrating when you practice all the time, and yet you're still dealing with the same technique issues over and over again. Does that happen to you? Like, tell me if you're watching live or even if you're watching in the replay, tell me in the chat. Do you feel like you practice all the time and yet you're still dealing with the same technique issues over and over again? And if you do have that experience, do you ever wonder why? And so I'm going to tell you right now. So here's a question to help you identify. What is one stubborn habit that you've been dealing with in your singing for a really long time? Could be strain on high notes, could be a nasal sound, could be a strident sound, could be pitchiness, maybe vocal fatigue or lack of stamina, or maybe it's tightness in your breath, or tension somewhere, jaw tension, neck tension, tongue tension that's really affecting your ability to make a consistent, powerful sound. And so I am sure that you've probably had teachers address these things before. You know, they probably pointed out. And it's not like you don't know, and it's not like you're not practicing. You do. And still nothing changes. And so one of the big reasons that you are stuck and that you're not eliminating these issues is because I'm guessing that you've probably never been taught to focus on the how. You're probably too busy focusing on the what, and it's not your fault. So let me explain the difference between the what and the how. Most voice teachers, they only teach the what. They don't teach the how. So you've never actually learned how to do the how. And so this is where the warm-up comes in. So right now, let me explain what the what looks like instead of the how, okay? Right now, your warm-up probably is a huge missed opportunity and total waste of time, because I guarantee you when you're warming up, you're focusing and thinking about the what instead of the how, okay? So singers ask me all the time, Arden, what's the best exercise for this or that? What's the best exercise for my breath support? What's the best exercise to work on my high notes? You know, and my answer, guys, is always the same. The specific exercise does not matter. The what does not matter. Only the how does. So let me tell you what I mean. Earlier, when I was a very young singer in my vocal development, my warm-up was like this thing that I needed to do to get my voice up and running. It was a way to get up into my range, and I would plow through vocal exercises just by rote, like automatically on autopilot, just, you know, getting all the way up into the range and back. And it was like what I need to do to get my voice moving so I could do the thing that I really wanted, which was sing songs, right? Doing it that way, I'm in the what. I'm not in the how. And the mere fact that I'm doing vocal warm-up exercises is not going to make me a better singer. In fact, for a lot of you, your warm-up is probably keeping you stuck in all of those stubborn habits, which I will explain in a minute. So you have to change the purpose of your warm-up. Okay, your warm-up can't just be the thing that's just getting you, you know, blazing you up into your range. Because right now, when you're focusing on the what, you know, it's the what, it's the high note, it's the whatever, you know what I mean? You have to change the purpose of your warm-up. Otherwise, number one, you're going to keep dealing with the same technique issues over and over again. It's going to affect your confidence, because doing something for so long and not getting the real results you want, it starts to make you question if you're really good enough. It becomes harder and harder then to stay empowered. And when you're not empowered, you don't have the confidence in your ability to deliver at the level that you want consistently. And then it becomes harder and harder to do the things that you really need to do to put yourself out there. And then it becomes harder and harder to succeed at the level you want. But it doesn't have to be this way. Changing the purpose of your warm-up prevents all of that. So what is the purpose of the warm-up? If it's not to warm up your voice, then what's the purpose? Common answer, right? The purpose of the warm-up, common answer, singers who don't know any better, is to get your body and your breath and your sound and your energy moving for singing. But see, that's only going to help you if you get your body and your breath and your sound and your energy moving in the right way. And that, my friends, is the purpose of warming up. Not getting your voice moving, but to get your voice moving in the right way. So here is the fundamental shift that I want you to make in your mindset around warming up. There is no difference between the warm-up and practicing. There is no difference between warming up and practicing. Your warm-up is the practice. Your practice is the warm-up. You're not warming up your voice, you guys. You are warming up your technique. Get that. Your voice will get warmed up, okay? But that you just blaze through scales. If you just blaze through scales and you're not focusing on the how, then you're just warming up all your old bad habits. And then guess what's going to happen? You're going to take all those bad habits into the song that you sing and you wonder why nothing has changed, okay? You are not warming up your voice. You are warming up your technique. The warm-up sets the mind and the body and the technique foundations for the singing to come. That you do your warm-up, guys, doesn't matter. How you do your warm-up, 100% does. And that's why I said that your vocal warm-up may be keeping you stuck because you're not focusing on the how of the warm-up exercises. And guess what? It's usually not your fault. Truly. The how probably was not part of the way that the warm-up exercises were taught to you. So it isn't the focus of the way that you do them now. I mean, most voice teachers, they just blaze through warm-ups, just going up and down scales without stopping their students from making any corrections. Like it's treated as this perfunctory process to run through in order to get to the real work of singing songs. So if you have, if you've experienced this before, you know what I mean. Your voice teacher starts and you just go, mi, me, ma, mi, me, ma, mi, me, ma, mi, me, ma. And you just keep going and going and going and going, and the voice teacher never stops you. The problem is, if that's how you were taught to warm up and your teacher did not use those exercises as an opportunity to correct you and set up your proper technique, then all you really learned how to do, like I was saying before, is blaze up and down your scale, warming up all your bad habits and then carrying them into whatever song you're about to sing, and then being frustrated because the song doesn't feel or sound as good as it can. But when you are in the how of your warm-up exercises instead, then you're setting the foundations of your technique in the warm-up. You're warming up the foundations of your technique and taking that into the songs. Well, when that happens, now you're seeing improvements in your singing week after week. Your confidence grows because you're getting results instead of questioning whether you're good enough. It's easier to stay empowered. When you're confident and you're empowered, you actually do the things you really need to do to put yourself out there, land opportunities. And when you do that, it becomes easier and easier to succeed at the level that you want. So I start every one of my own warm-ups and every lesson with every singer who works in our intensive training program and all of our other training programs, whether they're an advanced singer or a new singer, we always start with lip trills. You guys know lip trills, right? Lip trills. Why? Why do I start every one of my own warm-ups and every lesson with lip trills, no matter how advanced? It's because consistent breath support is the foundation of great singing. And so that is the first thing that I want to warm up is my breath support. And lip trills are the most foundational, best thing for learning how to do proper breath support. So that is why lip trills, first thing in any warm-up that you're going to do with me and for myself, what I do for me too. And so the thing is, if you're focused on the what instead of the how of the lip trills, then you're going to blaze through lip trills semi-efficiently or maybe not efficiently at all and miss out on reinforcing one of the most important foundations of your singing and miss out warming up one of the most important foundations of your singing, which is your breath support. So when focusing on the how of the lip trills instead, We bring our attention and our awareness to our breath support, to reinforcing the muscle memory of what that efficient support feels like in our body and warming that up. Again, that you do lip trills doesn't matter. How you do them does. Because otherwise, like I was saying, you're just going to warm up old bad habits, take them into the songs. Those issues then only get worse, and it becomes a domino effect into your career. And then there goes the dream. So keep it simple. If you want to make a big impact with your voice and have a big singing career, learn how to do the how. And I can hear you now saying, but Arden, how do I know what the how is? Like, how do I get to the how? Okay, so first things first, know the right sensations in your physiology, in the body, when you're doing the specific exercises. And that is your teacher's job to show you. It is your teacher's job to explain to you how you're using your body to create, for example, in lip trills, the efficient breath support. And then it teach you how to identify what that sensation is in your body so you can recreate it in your own practice time and time again when you're doing that particular exercise. It is your teacher's job to show you how to do that. If you are investing in voice lessons and they are not doing that, I'm going to call it tight, you guys. Get a different teacher. Time for a new teacher. That is their number one responsibility, to teach you how to create the right sensations and then how to identify them, what you're doing so you can recreate it again when you're on your own and not with them in the studio, okay? The second way you get to the how is about noticing, not going on autopilot when you're practicing and in your warm-up. It's learning about how to get out of your head and get present to the sensations that are in your body that are happening when you sing. I can't tell you how many singers go somewhere else when they sing, completely not present at all to what they are noticing in their body, what they are doing with their body, how that feels in their body, what shapes and sensations and images and everything, so that they can go back and recreate it every time they want the same output of sound that was the good sound, right? So it's learning how to notice, not being on autopilot, but being present with your body in the moment. And then the third way of how do you get to the how is being able to bring that awareness, that noticing, to the sensations in your body in the moment of singing. So use the warm-up to get to know and set the right sensations, the sensations of the good sound and the efficient technique. So you have to tap into your awareness to get to the how. And that is not something that most singers are taught. And it is not something that most singers just can like snap their fingers and do. It takes understanding what I call mindful integration to be able to bring awareness into the moment of singing. And this, guys, this is what I'm all about. If you follow me as a teacher, if you digest my content, if you know my method, this is what I'm about. Your body, which is your instrument, is your whole body. Your body cannot do what your brain is sabotaging. So you've got to train the brain in mindful integration, in leveraging your awareness so you can be in the how, in the witnessing, in the noticing, in the recreation, instead of the what. What's the exercise, Arden? Me, me, ma. Well, that's not going to get you anywhere. You need to understand the how, and that takes leveraging your awareness. Okay, so it is the process, guys, not the outcome. You'll get the outcome, but not by focusing on it. You'll get the outcome by being in the process, by being in the moment with your body and your technique, and by having a good teacher who can show you how to do that. That's being in the how. And that can be hard to do, guys. It can be hard to do without guidance. And so if you're somebody who has struggled with stubborn habits for a long time and you are done with that, you're done with the frustration, you're done doing it the old way, you want to do it differently. You want to learn about mindful integration. You want to be able to leverage your awareness. You want to free your voice so you can build a more successful career with your auditions, your recordings, your performances that make a huge impact. Then I want to invite you to what we're doing next week. So next week, we are doing a free 6-day Pro Singer Career Accelerator Masterclass series. It starts on Monday. It is 90 minutes a day, each day, Monday through Saturday. This is, again, next week, May 11th. That's when we're starting. And this is free, guys, because it really kills me that so many of you who are so talented are just knocking your head against the wall because you don't know this stuff. You don't know there is a different way to train. And so you think it's you, and it's not. It's that you don't know this stuff. So it's been almost a year since we have done the last week-long Pro Singer Career Accelerator Masterclass series. So if you missed it last time, or this is you've never been, you're ready for some breakthroughs, this is your chance to understand a different way to train. How we train the how mindful integration works, game-changing techniques for breath support and resonance, and standing out through the competition, getting past nerves, all these things, so that you're like not in the dark anymore about why you're not booking elite gigs despite all of your vocal training and performance experience, and then how you fix that. So you're not in the dark about understanding how to stand out from the competition. And I am going to give you my secret weapons for how to stand out every single time. We're going to go into innovations, like I was saying, for breath support, for resonance, for consistency in high-level performance. So you understand these techniques and you understand the how behind them, not the what, okay? We're going to talk about energetic sound direction. We're going to talk about mind-body collaboration. So you can deliver your best singing when it counts, no matter who is listening, how big your audience is, or how much is at stake in the moment. So again, it's 6 days starting this Monday, May 11th, 90 minutes a day for free, so that you don't have to take my word for the fact that there is a much better way to train. You can just come and experience it for yourself for free, okay? So that you don't have to keep knocking your head against the wall. Like, every singer in the world should know this, which is why I do this for free. So I am putting the link to the information and to register in the chat on Facebook. If you are watching on YouTube, it is in the video description copy already. You can click it there. The Facebook is being slow. I just pasted it, but it's not putting it in. Okay, I'm sure it'll come in. Otherwise, I'll go into the comments afterwards and I will put it in. But guys, like, don't miss this, okay? Seriously, like, I was not taught this. It took me almost a decade of like walking into walls until I kind of expanded my experience and went into all these different modalities, some of them were singing specific, some of them were not at all singing specific. There was body work, there was self-actualization and mindset work. But when we put it all together, then all the technique that I understood in my brain, but that wasn't locking in my body, came online. And so that's what we're going to be doing over the course of this next week. So register, do not miss it. We start Monday. It is free. If the link didn't go in, I will put it in the comments right now as soon as we end the live. And I hope to see you guys there. Bye, everybody.